easy. So the first thing we do is we list all the factors of 200, and we can see them there. It's 2, it's 2, it's 5, it's 5, it's 2. So those are all the factors of 200. And then below that, we list the factors of 300, which you've also calculated. Those are the factors of 300. But what we do is we start by looking at what they have in common. Okay, so as you can see, they have a 2 in common. Okay, so we start with those. Okay, that would represent those 2's there. They have in common. They have another 2 in common over there. They have 5 in common. Alright, so basically start by listing everything that they have in common, and then they have another 5 in common. So is this 5 here. Okay, now they don't have 2 and 3 in common. Okay, so 2 is only what we find 2 as a factor of only 200, and 3 is the factor of just 300. So 2 is a factor of 200 that they do not have in common, and 3 is a factor of 300 that they do not have in common. Okay, so we list the ones that they have in common. Okay, and this is very important. To calculate the HCF, we only want the ones that they have in common. So they have 2 in common, they have that 2 in common, they have that 5 in common, they have that other 5 in common. So we'll only multiply what they have in common to find the HCF. This is very important. So we ignore whatever they don't have in common. So we're not going to use the 2 and we're not going to use the 3 to find the HCF. So we'd only multiply what they have in common. Okay, so multiply whatever they've got in common. All right, and which would give us 100. Okay, so that is how you find your HCF. Okay, that is how you basically find your HCF. Just multiply only that which they have in common. Okay, now the LCM, not so complicated. Unlike the HCF, for the LCM you multiply everything, even that those factors that they do not have in common. Remember, we already listed in the previous question they've got 2 in common, they've got another 2 in common, they've got 5 in common, they've got 5 in common, but they don't have 2 and 3 in common. Okay, so what we do here is we would also multiply. We do exactly the same thing we did with the LCM. We multiply the 2 they have in common, the 2 they have in common, the 5 they have in common. But for the LCM, we also multiply those factors which they do not have in common. Remember, they don't have 2 in common, and they also don't have 3 in common. But to find the LCM, you need to multiply the factors that they do not have in common also. Okay, so picking up from our previous answer, where we multiplied for the HCF just that they have in common, then we will also multiply the 2 to that answer and the 3, and that's how you get 600. Okay, so to summarize, when you use prime factorization, you first need to list the factors of both numbers. Okay, now for the HCF, you will only use for the HCF, you only use the factors in common. Okay, and for the LCM, you use the factors in common and the factors that are not in common. So you multiply everything, those in common and those numbers that they do not have in common. Okay, I think it's simple enough. Okay, that's the end of this lesson for grade 9s also. I do ask you, grade 9s, to also subscribe and like this video, and also look out for part 2. Thank you.